Yo, 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 what's going on? It's the NRW, where nerds rule the world. It's your boy, Kuyapi, aka Patrick Michael Strange, and I'm bringing you more of this amazing 2021 Tribeca Film Festival coverage with some amazing films that if you can't check it out at Tribeca, you're going to want to find the means to check this out. And this amazing film that I have right now is called Do Not Hesitate, and I have the director today, Shariff Korver. You're gonna love it. We're gonna get all into it. Let's bring him on. Why am I doing all this build up? Let's stop this anticipation. Let's bring him on the screen. Here we go, y'all. Please welcome director of Do Not Hesitate, Shariff Korver. They're going off. You don't see it right now, Shariff, but I have it in post. How are you, sir?
Thank you, man. Very well, man. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Great.
Oh, definitely, man. I really enjoy this film. I'm not just gassing you up because I have you on here and the studios kind of gave me some of your time, man. I really enjoyed this film. I think it's a necessary story. It's stories that we need to see and hear more of, because a lot of times with your quote unquote military films, it kind of glamorizes kind of, that bravado military aspect of things. And I think there's other human stories that need to be told that are around these situations. And I think that's what's so great about this film in particular, and especially the stories. But I'm not going to tell it. I want you to actually tell it. So for the uninitiated, can you just kind of give an overall kind of like pitch to my audience of what this film is about?
Absolutely. So this film is not about war. Let me start with that. It's not about war, although it takes place in a war zone. This film is about young soldiers, just the young soldiers, and how it is to be deployed, and more of it, how it is to be somehow to get in touch with the local people and how crazy that can get, right? So the film has a very, very simple premise. It's a peace mission. It's Dutch military, Dutch soldiers. They are handing out stuff on their way back to camp. One of their vehicles breaks down, and you never leave military vehicles behind. So there's a small group of soldiers staying behind to guard the thing, and in a couple of days, it'll be picked up, right? That's where it starts. There's nothing going on yet. That's in the first minutes, and they're going to stay there, camp there, and they'll be safe back home. What happens is that one of the soldiers, by accident, kills a goat. He kills a goat. It's not even the enemy. It's just a goat. And a couple of moments later, a young Arabic kid comes to them and he's like, hey, that was my goat. What happened? He wants money. He's been giving money, but he feels it's not enough. And from that moment on, that's when hell loses, right? And that whole film takes place in this one location. Let's say about 80% of the film takes place in this one location where this young Dutch white soldiers have to guard this huge military vehicle. And this small brown Arabic boy is not willing to leave, because he's not happy with what he has been giving. And well, obviously it's a film, so things are going to go wrong.
Oh yeah. And that twist is so, it's amazing. And I don't want to give away anything, and we don't want to spoil anything, but I love it. And I guess I'm so close to this project in my infatuation for it, because I am former military, and I've encountered and have lived in different areas during my military service, and just that interaction that you do have with the local community and trying to get past perceived notions or perceptions that are there. So that's why I connect so much with this film, and why I think it's so amazing. Shariff, can you tell me how this project came to you, and why you chose to, make this project, produce it, and the vision that you wanted to see fit once you signed on the dotted line, you enjoyed the script or whatever. Can we start from the very beginning of how Do Not Hesitate happened with you?
Absolutely. So about 10 years ago, I read an article in a Dutch newspaper about young Dutch soldiers going to Greece to debrief. And maybe you got it too. Yeah, I think Americans do it in Germany. Debriefing means basically 2 days of partying by night and having a therapy session by day where nobody would talk. And this debriefing would happen after being deployed to Afghanistan for 6 months before coming home, right? Just this little in-between moment where you're allowed to blow off some steam, where you're allowed to have this little let's go crazy moment before you go to your father and mother or parent, partners, whatever you got at home. And this debriefing was actually getting out of control. There were a lot of fightings with the local community in Greece. They were getting drunk. They were destroying clubs. And somehow it made it to the news. because they were like questioning, is this the right way to cope with whatever traumas or feelings they're having? And when I read this article, I could just envision the boys going nuts on the dance floor in this warm Greek club and having all these mixed feelings or whatever you experienced. And that captivated me. That did something to me. And I felt like, all right, I need to find out what can happen back there that brings you to this moment. And it's not a big spoiler though, but the film does end with the scene with the young soldiers in a club in Greece. And whatever happens before, I'm not going to say, but that's where the film started. What happened after is that I went on to make another film. I made The Intruder that premiered on TIFF in 2014. And while being in the edit of The Intruder, I reread the article and I felt like, yeah, that's going to be my next film. So the first thing I did is I engaged with a screenwriter, Jolijn Laarman, a famous Dutch screenwriter, and I asked her, listen, Jolijn, I have this crazy thought. I need to make this film. I do not know the story, but I do have a feeling for this last image. And she was on and she said, let's go. And obviously, because we never have been to a war zone and we will never be, we need to do some extensive research, interviewing a bunch of soldiers that have been there, watching all the documentaries, reading whatever we could, getting like a full picture of it, but also for us to find like what's going to be our vision and our POV about this story. And the thing that we found is like, we don't want to tell the whole thing because we're not able to tell how complex the whole military structure is in 90 minutes. So we're just going to focus on how it is to be 18, 19, to be a soldier and just knowing what you know. And being in a foreign country, holding a gun, wearing the uniform, and just being there with all your good purposes and whatever that place and the contact with local community does with you. And we combine that with another very important topic for us, and that's how the Western world, sort of takes a place in the world and wants to be the savior. Like somehow we go there to help you guys. We're going to rebuild your country. It's a peace mission, right? So Holland only participates in peace missions, but somehow it has to be on our terms, right? I mean, we're here to help you, but what happens if a local boy is not going on his knees and saying, thank you, sir, thank you so much, but he's giving you a big middle finger, right? That's going to be so weird for you because it's not what you're expecting, especially if you're so young. And that's what sort of the film is about. And the story is thrilling. It has thriller elements. It has a bit of horror elements. It has action and pace. But most of all, it has a heart and something important that we felt that we want to say about this without criticizing the whole thing, because we cannot know the whole thing. We can only know how it feels like if you are this young soldier, simple, 18 years old, and this is what's happening.
Wow. That's absolutely amazing. I got to give you some kudos again. That's did any of you, because you really captured what I experienced as a former military member and just everything. The question I had was like, did you have any prior service knowledge? So you said from an article, but did you serve or did the screenwriter serve? Because I see you shaking your head and they're not seeing it on the moment, but so then that I'm blown away. You guys did an outstanding job then, because you really captured what we go through in our vibe. I love that. Outstanding.
I'm so happy to hear that, because obviously that's your fear as a filmmaker, right? You hope that the people that really experience it will watch it and will feel like, yeah, man, you're telling my story. Although it's not your story, but it's similar to your story. But at the end of the day, it's a feeling you bring home from whatever you experience. And that's also why we didn't place the film in a particular place. We're not saying it's Afghanistan or it's Syria. We're never saying it, because it's not about one mission. It's about the experience of going on a mission, whatever that mission is.
Hell yeah. Oh man. Again, thank you, sir. Yes, you captured it. I can't thank you enough. That was so well done. So you chose this script. You helped birth this script along with your screenwriter. How was getting this project together? So you got the script out, but then it's the nuts and bolts of making a film, which I'm a filmmaker as well. That's a challenge. How did you go about getting a studio to sign on this, giving you the financing and making this happen? Can you tell me a little bit about the production aspect of it?
Absolutely. So there's a big difference when you make a film in the US or you make it in a European country as Holland. We have a public film fund. And so basically they get some money a year to spend on Dutch productions. So we got funded by the Dutch Film Fund. We co-produced with Greece where we shot. And that's the way you build your budget. Obviously, we work with very little budgets compared with American budgets. but for Dutch standards, we had a pretty decent budget. And I had one thing that was very important to me. I didn't want to have it should, whatever we did in front of the camera should feel legit, and you should never feel like this is a low budget production. So we kept it simple, we kept it tight and contained, but whatever you see should feel for real, right? It should not be like, oh, this small European film who wanted to be a Hollywood film. We don't, a lot of European films suffer from that. They want to pretend to be a Hollywood film, but we don't have those budgets. So you feel like it's, you have good means, but you don't have the money to do it, right? And I really wanted to stay away from that. I prefer to make a small film with a strong heart instead of going for big explosions, because you don't need big explosions to thrill an audience. That's what, that's how I felt. So that's the way we financed it. And the basically two things were very important when we're talking about production. One is location, two is cast, right? Location, because you're not going to be able to go to Syria or Afghanistan to shoot the film. So you're going to end up shooting it somewhere else that looks like it. But I was not going for it should look like something that exists. I was going for a feeling based on my interviews with soldiers. A lot of them said, like, when they arrived in Afghanistan, it felt like if they were going to a trip to the moon or to Mars, right? And the local people were like aliens. It felt like so weird, especially if you're 18, you've never left the country before, and suddenly you're going to this warm, hot, big mountain type of place, right? So when I searched for locations, which I did in Morocco, I went to Croatia, I went to Spain, and we ended up finding it in Greece. I was searching for this place that had this feeling of menace and bigness, and that sort of, you feel like this is not Spain or Portugal or Italy, you on holidays, right? This is not all picturesque and beautiful mountains. No, this should be menacing mountains. So that was step one. The second step was finding the right cast. I had one dream, and I had this dream where the audience would not see actors playing soldiers, but I wanted to have like the real deal, right? Like the real soldiers there. And soon enough, I found out that real soldiers are not going to be able to act, because I needed some proper actors as well. So I went on to find actors who had the specific qualities that could fit to be real soldiers. Doesn't happen. When you search for young actors between 18 and 20, these are all kids that go to theater school. These are sensitive kids who like the arts, who like, like they have like a proper view of life. And, I know that from research, kids that go to the military are no nonsense kids who like sports, who are big build. And I couldn't find actors that would have that type of person and personality. So I ended up just choosing the three best actors that I could find. And I told them, guys, you know how to act, but I need you to become somebody else, completely else. And they had, let's say, half a year to become a soldier. How do we do that? Obviously, they had to gain a huge amount of weight. So they all gained between 10 to 15 kilos of muscle. And we hired a military advisor, and he trained them. So they slept in a cabin in the woods. They did all the training. They even killed the chicken. They had to catch chicken, kill it, and eat it. To experience the whole thing. They learned how to hold a gun. They learned how the whole thing, man. And I even let them live together in an apartment. Because, well, you know better than I do that the military is also about camaraderie, about creating a group. So I wanted to sleep in one room, cook together, eat together, work out together, and become a family together, right? And basically I told them, listen, guys, whenever you walk on the set on the first day of shooting, I don't want to see an actor. I want to see a soldier, because I'm not going to be the expert. I don't know how to direct you to become a soldier. I want you to be a soldier the moment you walk on the set, and I'll just do my work as a director to make those scenes work. And that's one of the big accomplishments of the film, I hope. I mean, you're not going to be able to tell, but they all speak in a different accent. They don't speak like they speak themselves. They all speak in a different accent, especially because when you go to theater school, they teach you how to properly speak, right? Because you got to, and I had to relearn them how to speak, not as an actor, but one of those kids from the province of Holland that could join the military and be part of that family. So there's a lot of work in there that even if you are not a Dutch audience, I hope you will catch. And that's all being part of the film. I mean, that's all months of work you invest in order that, that when you go and shoot, it's going to be on point. The other big challenge was finding the young boy, right? Omar. He, because I knew that, like when you find actors, they're trained, they have skills. But when you find a child actor, it's never going to be an actor, right? It's just going to be a child that happens to have like a natural talent for the work. But this is very specific because I needed an Arabic or an Afghani kid. So we searched all around Europe, all around the world, and we ended up finding him in Holland. So he's a Syrian refugee who left his country 3 years prior to shooting. He had an amazing journey to get to Holland through Turkey, Greece. I don't want to, it's an I call it amazing, but it must be a horrible journey to leave a country in war to find a better place, right? And somehow he ended up in Holland, and he was discovered by a short film who gave training to young kids in refugee shelters in Holland, and he was chosen from 300 kids to play the lead in a short film. And I happened to in a crowdfunding, I happened to support that short film. I gave them $100, whatever, it doesn't matter. And I remember that short film, and I went, we have to find this kid. And we found him. And he's maybe the big discovery of the film, because he has this raw, natural talent where he could just tap into the emotion needed for every scene and transform from this nice, vivid kid into the part he's playing in the film. And the challenging part for me as a filmmaker was that I could not permit this film to become another trauma for him, right? Because so I was very aware of the danger that I'm asking this kid who he fled like this country in war to come to a better place, and I'm actually basically go back to a war zone and play a kid in a war zone. So I was very keen on making the whole process of making the film like fun for him. It should be a game, right? So I didn't discuss the script with him. We never talked about the psychology of the character. We just had fun, and every time, just 5 minutes before shooting, we talked about the scene, and that was the work. And when we were done with work, we were allowed to have fun together. So no method acting, no whatsoever, was not needed. It was not needed to go through the whole thing with him and talk about the bigger picture of the film. It should, for him, it should be like, and it was very hard. I'm not going to lie to you. It was very challenging for him also physically to play this part. But at the end of the day, we became a family together, all the actors, him, me, and we were like all little brothers from each other. And I think he had a great time, and he's very proud of the film.
Wow. Oh my gosh, Shariff, thank you for all of that. There's questions that I had that you already answered, so I absolutely love that. Your actors were absolutely amazing. It's great to hear how you got them geared and ready to perform and play this, and that background story, because it's so very true from a filmmaking standpoint of finding the right cast, getting them to be able to play this and bring that gravitas to it, and that young actor as well. I was curious on that story, and you brought that up as well. And I didn't even think about the notion that this could bring back trauma, as you stated, and how you kind of handled that in order to make this film. And I'm curious, now that it had ended, has he seen the film at all? And how did he take it?
Absolutely. So we had like a little private viewing in Holland, just the filmmakers and the cast. And he's so proud of it. He's so proud of it. Now he's talking about joining theater school. So he has like this little discussion with his family, because they're not sure if engaging a career as an actor is going to be something that, beholds a future, how it goes. So he's having talks with his family. And so he might study something first to have something. And they're all very proud of him. His father actually came with us to Greece, and he was every day on set watching, the film being made, and, making sure that his kid was all right. So he's most of all very proud. And he, when he had to leave us, he was crying. He didn't want to leave Greece, because he wrapped like a couple of days before the rest did. And this was an amazing experience for him. And if you watch the film, you'll see what we're talking about. He's just a special kid. I can see him doing bigger films in the future. I can see him. I hope people watch this film, and other filmmakers and studios, writers, whoever, directors, and see this kid, and just imagine this kid was 15 while doing this. He was 15.
Brilliant. Oh yeah, I completely agree. Outstanding. That's money to make this film connect and to make people really touch, to feel it. You have to have the right cast, and you have to have the right script. And you scored on all the elements, Shariff. I gotta give you your props and your flowers, bro. That was so well done. Man. Definitely. Outstanding. So you have this amazing cast. You're filming this project. About how long did it take to make? When was this filmed? And when until now?
So it was filmed in 2019.
Okay.
From September to October. and then we started post-production. And when we just locked the edit, that's when COVID hit.
Oh, that
So
was going
we
to be my
had like,
question. Yeah.
yes, yes. So we had like a little month of hesitation, like what's going to happen. And we end up doing the whole sound post production that took like 5 months during COVID, like with all the measurements and so on. And we finished the film somewhere last year. And basically, we have been waiting for festivals to go live. So I was very keen on not going on an online premiere. And a lot of festivals went online. And I was lucky that my producers were, understanding the situation that after so many years of working on a film, you want an audience to see the film, right?
Oh, yeah.
You don't want to be at home sitting on your couch knowing that this is your premiere with a link, which happened to a lot of filmmakers, right? So we waited. And then when Tribeca came and they announced that, we wanted to be the first festival to go for an audience live after post-COVID, and they were also happy to select us and actually keen to select us. We were just so happy. It's amazing. I mean, there's so much uncertainty because of COVID, right?
Yeah.
Because usually things are so, you take them for granted, and COVID has learned us as, don't take these things for granted. And actually, it's very special to be able to make a film to start with after so many years, and it's even more special to be able to show it to an audience in such an iconic city as New York and such a big and important festival as Tribeca.
Definitely. Well, I am truly honored to have been able to be one of the first to see this film. Again, it was amazing. I can't thank you again from my military perspective standpoint of the story that you're bringing to the world. Again, I love this film. So it's going to be at Tribeca Film Festival, y'all that are watching this. I hope you can catch it. Are there other avenues? Are you still working? Are you going to work the festival route a little bit before we get distribution on this? Because I want to be able to, showcase this and let more people know how they can see this film, Shariff.
Well, there's one thing that's good to know, that because of COVID, obviously the audience is not going to be very big. So it's going to be a viewing for a small audience. But Tribeca is showing all their films online. So wherever you are in the US, on the 15th of June, you can log on the page of Tribeca and buy the film for $15 and watch it at home. And I don't mind. I'm happy for the more the merrier, I guess, right? And so I hope people will watch it at home on the Tribeca platform. And we hope to sell the film to the US. So that's something that we hope that's going to happen after the festival. We definitely will do the festival circuit, and we'll probably premiere the film in Holland in November. And we're doing other festivals that I cannot tell yet, but there will be more festivals, obviously. Yes, absolutely.
Excellent. I hope so. I want more people to see this because, again, it's a great project. One last message do we want to say about Do Not Hesitate that you want to tell the people that are listening, that we can just, encourage people to come see this film, and how it's so important to you that people see it?
It's at the end of the day, that something is important for me is not going to justify your time, right? The only thing that I can say is that this film, I'm pretty sure that it will entertain you, that it will thrill you. It has a fast pace. It has like a very cinematic approach, and you'll definitely appreciate the cinema of it and also the genre of it. But at the end of the film, I think that without pushing, or at least let's say I hope that without pushing, it will make you think. It will make you think on a good way about what's happening in the world, man. What am I doing about that? And that's the most important thing. If you can combine entertainment with a bit of thinking, that's what I'm aiming for. So I do wish people will watch it. In the first place, I promise you, you won't regret it. You will be thrilled. You'll be entertained. And, who knows, at the end of the film, you'll give it a little bit of thought.
Definitely.
So
I love it. That's why we get into film as filmmakers, right? To entertain, but also maybe possibly inspire and educate.
Exactly.
That's my mission. So that's amazing, Shariff. Are there any other projects that we want to kind of highlight before we leave out that you maybe want to throw some shine on outside of Do Not Hesitate, and or ways we can contact you for your new fans that are watching this? Maybe throw your socials out there.
Yeah. So the good thing about COVID is that it allowed me to write. So I've been writing the last year. I'm working on my hopefully my first Dutch Spanish film. So I'm half Venezuelan. I grew up in Venezuela. My dad is Dutch. I moved to Holland to do film school, and I stayed. And I'm very keen on, that's my next step, though. That will be my next step, working in Spanish, working in English. I can say a little about it, but hopefully soon I'll be able to make my third film, and that one will be one that people will watch again. Yes. Yeah.
I can't wait. So how can they reach out? Do you have are you on like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you know?
So I'm not yet though, but I
Okay.
will from Saturday on. I'm reinitiating I quit Facebook and Instagram years ago to focus on the filmmaking.
It can be a time
But
suck.
so after this film, I feel like I should reopen all that in order to promote the film. So if you Google my name, Shariff Korver, I'm pretty sure you will find me. Yes.
All right. And then what I'll do for everybody, if you're watching, I'll have the information. Once I get it from Shariff, I'll put it in the description so you can check it out and follow this man because he's amazingly talented. Shariff, I really can't thank you enough for your time. I hope that people do not hesitate to see Do Not Hesitate because it's absolutely amazing. Really well done, sir. Tremendous film. Y'all check it out. Tribeca Film Festival. They'll have all the links. And again, as he said, on the 15th, you can purchase it so you can watch it at home. Please go see this film. It's great. I don't think you'll be disappointed at all. I absolutely enjoyed it. Kuyapi, Shariff Korver, Nerds Rule the World. Do not hesitate. Thank y'all so much. We're out of here.
Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Shariff. I'm the director of Do Not Hesitate, and you are on NRW. I am here to promote my film, who's going to premiere on Tribeca Film Festival. You'll all be able to purchase it online from the 15th of June on. Do Not Hesitate is your usual war film. It's an intense drama about young soldiers being deployed and about how this young group of soldiers encounter a meeting with a young local Arabic boy. I'm not going to spoil too much about the film because I just want you to go and watch it. You won't be disappointed. Thank you so much. I hope you see it and you enjoy it. And who knows, we'll be in touch. See ya. Hi, everybody. My name is Shariff, and I'm a nerd of color because, as you see, I carry with me Lebanese blood. I carry with me Venezuelan blood. I carry with me Dutch blood. Anywhere in the world where I go, I'm at home, and at the same time, I'm not. And I'm always just saying, you know, wherever you come from, tell your story. It's important that we tell each other's story, whatever it is, and whatever color you are, and whatever story it is. You know, it's something that you carry with you. It's undeniable. Look at me. I am basically a person with an Arabic name. Look at my beard, Shariff. I speak Spanish. That's my first language. And my last name is Korver, which is Dutch. Who am I? I'm everything. See ya.
Hell yeah. I absolutely love that. Thank you so much. That was great. That's what this is all about. We're all the same and we're all beautiful with all these different parts. Shariff, thank you so much.